So I am doing some good work right now, trying to appease a couple of our listeners. Two of our namesakes I both work with and I'm very close with, and we've sure done killed them good.
Man, that list, it's so long.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
I don't know who, yeah.
And so they've spent the week building characters, them and another woman that we work with. And it was Friday night, and we said, let's play for like a half hour after work. I'll give you essentially the opening cutscene. That's what I was going for. 3.5 hours later, they had completed the first arc, and I was very, very proud. They kicked ass. It was really, really good. They came up with some really fantastic characters, and yeah, they whooped ass.
One of those players actually was kind of asking my thoughts on certain powers, and I said, well, you don't really have to worry about it too much. I don't know if Tass mentioned this or not, but it's almost going to be entirely you guys in the lab running like genetic testing and doing like DNA combinations. And there was this real long pause, and she goes, oh, he didn't mention that. And I went, oh, that's because I'm totally messing around. And she's like, oh, and then she sent me a gif of what
Somebody
coughing doing the bird. What is the Pokemon?
Haunter.
Yeah, Haunter.
Good.
In just a couple of weeks here, actually about 2 weeks, we have been working on a Let's Play for a new game that is coming out called Thousand Arrows. It is a powered by the Apocalypse game. It takes place in feudal Japan, and we met the creators of it at Gen Con, and they kind of overheard us talking about the show and asked if we would be interested in doing a Let's Play for his new game. It'll probably be, I imagine, 4 episodes of us going through this new game system and playing through a story. So if you're interested in learning about other Powered by the Apocalypse games, you can look for that in the next 2 weeks. They launch on October 1st. So I guess we should probably finish that because that's like days from now. So as I break into a cold sweat, I'm going to let the recap roll.
The thought is we give me something to fight.
Oh.
If we drop something supernatural at the monument on the circle and I go kick its ass in front of everybody, if I get myself featured everywhere as the divine and people know that I have these powers and whatnot, my predecessor's probably going to see it too.
I can absolutely build something that can keep people out. And maybe even keep something in if we need to keep it in as well.
He's going to create some stuff. He's going to make a chip that shrinks it. You guys are going to put it in something and then put it to sleep, take it to the square, and then he's going to wake it up. And then you've got those 4 people you guys mentioned. They're going to clear the circle before those shields go up.
Yes.
So the only question that I have, guys, is you've got all this planned out. What about the streets? You've got cars coming through all the time, delivery people. What about the actual traffic, not the foot traffic?
I'm going to head outside to, like, the back alley or something, and I'm going to pull out the coin that Damien O'Doyle gave me to cash in a favor.
God.
And I'm going to flip that coin.
You flip that coin into the air, and you hear tires screech, and this car appears with flaming tires. The coin is caught in the air. Oh, need my help already, do ya? So this will take a couple of days to set everything up. You guys got a number of people to talk to. I assume you're going to maybe walk them through kind of a scenario, make sure everybody knows their assigned task. The team that you have kind of cobbled together is the 3 of you plus 6 people to help you out. You have Commander Soroka, you have Fairchild, who are going to help with the crowd. You also have Eddie and Jeff, the 2 guys from the maintenance service that Jake has made friends with. And then you have also enlisted the help of Rev to create the magic circle around TJ's technological shield. And then you have also asked for the help of Damien O'Doyle to close down the roads. Damien said he'll show up at showtime. He's not coming in to train with anything. He'll take care of closing the roads.
I have a bad feeling about this.
And there's... all of these people are more than willing to help you. I don't think we need to go through that process of talking any of them into it. TJ and I have done the roles for the technology and the magic that's being done. So is there anything else that you guys want to do before you try to enact this? Putting it all together will take 2 or 3 days. Is there anything kind of in the interim while TJ's building and perfecting? And, obviously there's even some time where the scientists there are helping him study the creature so that he can make the right thing to interact with its physiology and whatnot.
I mean, I would like to do a more in-depth dive on the creature, like so I know exactly what it is, exactly what it can do, exactly how to beat it, how to string it along, etc.
Yeah, so essentially the creature, they don't even have a name for it because it's the only one they've ever encountered. They have just been calling it the Thunder Lizard.
That's a cooler name. I want that.
Is that your name now? And it's kind of ironic that they call it that because, as Margaret told you, it was easily captured by tasers. Not even high-powered tasers, but it is, again, this very, very large, almost shaped like a 6-legged gorilla, but it is just covered with scales and it has a very lizard-like appearance.
Green scales?
Mostly yellow, actually. They said it can take a lot of damage, but for some reason, electricity goes right through it. The scientists tell you that probably 2 or 3 hits is all it will take if you are using anything charged with your divine thunder and lightning, if that. So they're concerned that you may even have to drag the fight out if you want to, have people show up. It has the ability to jump very far. It has the ability, obviously, to climb very easily. It's very tough. It's very strong. Other than that, they don't know that it does anything else. It hasn't really shown any kind of supernatural abilities or anything. Again, they just kind of think it's a fluke of some magic gone wrong or a piece of evolution or something that has created this thing to survive in the environment that they found it in.
So I have another thought, like having to drag a fight out is outside of my wheelhouse. I am used to trying to end a fight quickly.
Right.
I don't know how to drag a fight out.
I think ultimately it's going to be just a matter of, it's still going to be attacking you, which is going to be the dangerous part. It's going to be a matter of not using your hammer until you're ready for it to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they'll tell you that, if you're going to go into a fist fight with this thing, it's going to be a rough night. But again, you'll be able to put it down no problem once the electricity is engaged, but you won't have to sell anything if you're fighting it without the hammer.
How do I fake using the hammer?
Yeah.
Did you take Pocket Dimension?
I absolutely did, yeah.
You guys had originally talked about, we'll pretend like he channels the lightning and that's what summons the shield. Maybe summoning the hammer is a last second thing so that it's, you fight. Like that's your kind of final thing is that, lightning strike and you just pull it out of the Pocket Dimension.
Yeah, okay, that works then. I'm going to get just hella murdered. Like, yeah. I am going to get slaughtermeloned out of this fight immediately.
No.
Like, I'm going to be like, all right, here we go. Walk up and be like, pop, pop. And then it's just going to tear me in half long ways. Like,
Lengthwise.
Just leg.
Like a wishbone.
Oh, even worse. Oh.
I just had the most gruesome death in my head. It was just like it picks you up and it slams you down over
and then just
a fire hydrant and then just pulls you. Good Lord.
it's like it's splitting tinder. Just
Oh, no.
Something I would do would be to go down to the circle and just really scope everything out in detail. Go up to the top and kind of check out my sight lines. Just kind of get the spacing in my head so I know, where's going to be a good place to stand to get the best shots depending on which side it's going, and so on. So just kind of get the layout.
Yeah, and I think when you go down there, that you can see that going up to that series of windows at the top of the monument is going to be the best place to be if you're going to be in the circle. You can tell that there are some buildings that ultimately might be better to be on for you to be able to see every square inch because there are some buildings there that are connected so you could run between 2 or 3 rooftops and be able to get every inch of that place. But to be inside the domes, as you guys want to be, this is going to be the best place. Now there's going to be maybe even 20, 25 feet below you that are going to be very hard to get to unless you obviously take the rifle off of the ledge and go straight down. And then, of course, you're going to have to deal with going around the outside depending on where it moves to.
Very cool.
Anything else you guys want to do in this time besides check the area, and
I'm building stuff.
You are. Rev is putting together a bunch of components. At some point, actually, he would come to probably you, Tass, to go back down to the circle and make a bunch of the markings that need to be made.
Oh, sure.
So that once the time comes, it's just a matter of adding the last one. But there are almost 30 in total for an area that big, underneath benches and on the sides of trash cans. And
how does he do that? Like with chalk or something?
They're all different. Anything that would be washed away or could be rubbed away, he doesn't have you do early. He even has some paints, whatever it is, goes on clear, and so you don't see it.
Sure. I think a fair amount of that is me like engaging people to look away while he's, clearly messing with
what
stuff.
What is this guy doing with, why is he painting nothing on a park bench?
Why is this man sliding under the bench that I'm sitting on? What is he doing?
At DragonCon, they always have those really nice hat vendors. I saw those wizard hats, and I was like, I just like those wizard hats. I've always wanted to own one, but there's no reason for me to have one. And I think it was Rachel. She was like, oh, maybe Rev just wears a wizard hat. And I was like me? She's like, no. Like in the game, maybe Rev just wears a wizard hat. I was like, is that like the only way I can prove to people that I'm a wizard? Like, and then Tass was like, yeah, that's what it is. We go out to go on an adventure sometime, and it's like, okay, we're actually, I need your help. And you come out and you're like decked out, and you're like got a backpack and a long coat and, a pouch filled with all these things, and then a wizard hat. And you're like, all right, let's go. And everybody just kind of looks at it. Like, what? What do you want from me? It's part of the, like, I can't do magic without it. What do you want?
I have a very fickle patron, and if I don't wear his hat, then he gets upset. He takes away my powers.
He looks at you. He's like, you understand.
And I'm just like, respect. Yeah.
So yeah, once those are all set up, he does have, just the last few that he will do then when the time comes.
Oh, there is one more thing I need to do.
What's that?
I want to set up like a voice over IP, like an internet phone line that basically people can call into, and it'll transcribe their messages. So I'll give it out as like a, hey, if you have information or something you want me to follow up on, but it's the number that the previous divine can call. So I want to do this like internet phone number so that basically when it transcribes it, I can do like a keyword filter and put in words that I think are relevant to the divine, so that if they call, it'll especially pull things that seem like they might be from the previous divine. Because I imagine there's a good chance that it just gets overwhelmed, and I don't know that I would have the capacity to read through all of it. So set up something that kind of filters keywords that seem more important and more relevant, and I can at least go through those every day.
I assume at least 20% of the initial calls you're going to get are from people with Mjolnir tattoos, just wanting to hang out.
Just wanting to chill, yeah.
I'm looking at you, Joe
and those
Riley.
ones filter directly to garbage.
Can I volunteer to go through the garbage files just to find hilarious shit?
Just to find some friends?
Yeah.
I need people to hang out with.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I think that's going to be, for a while, a new section at the beginning of the show. We're going to read through. We're going to read a couple of the voicemails that Jake has got.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. So if you've got a voicemail you want to leave for Jake.
Great. I have to actually
email
set up.
it in.
I have to set up a real one of these now.
No, they can just email us at our regular thing, and we'll read out some of the better ones. So TJ, part of the reason that this is taking a couple of days is because you have some things to acquire. Just for your knowledge, the mind control, which won't work exactly as intended, you know that it's got one shot. When you activate it to calm it down long enough to get it where you need to get it, it's going to burn out that part of its brain. And so when it comes back up, you won't be able to bring it back down again.
Gotcha.
On your rolls, the elements that you picked were a weird and unusual material for the force field, and the help of another hunter with the implant. Who are you going to ask for help from?
So I'll ask Rev, because I think part of this is going to need a little bit more weird in the sense of magic. So I'll ask Rev, hey, do you have any spells or anything that can be put into like an implant, or like a rune that can be put into an implant, activated to shrink something and then enlarge in it?
Well, I mean, there are spells that can shrink and enlarge people. I don't have like a symbol or anything specifically.
Is there any way that you can imbue something with that sort of magic besides like a symbol or anything? Just it has that magic?
Yeah, I might be able to make a spell trigger where I cast it on something, and then with the keyword, it releases the magic.
That sounds great. Can you put it into like an implant or something?
Yeah, I mean, we would need two. One for big and one for small.
Okay. We could do that, and then we could connect them together to one control device, and so then whenever it embiggens, then I can smallen it as well, if need be.
Oh, you'll have to yell the trigger word. Like you want to set the magic up to a remote.
Oh, okay, so this is verbal command. Does it have to be my voice, or could it be a voice over a radio or something? Then
Oh, you mean does the trigger word work across the speaker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will do that, and I will set a code to it. And not just a code word, but like an actual code, like 824389949 Alpha Bravo.
Say, make my monster grow.
And you can see that Rev is like just running his fingers through his hair as you guys give these suggestions for words of power. You can't just list off words have power. That's why magic works.
Okay,
it
so
can't
then
just
what
be
would you suggest?
Just a word that you actually, what's your fuego?
Fuego.
Dresden Files.
Oh.
All of their magic spells are tied directly to themselves, like what means something important to them. So like one woman uses Egyptian terminology to cast the exact same spells that other wizards use, but all the words are different because it has to mean something deep. Inside, it's, those books.
And
Oof.
Harry just bastardizes Latin.
I've got the word then.
Okay.
Do you need to know it right now?
No, I guess not. I mean, in game, yes, because
Yes.
I have to lace that into the spell, so that's the trigger word.
Sure.
Different word for each one, though, because you don't want them both going off at the same time.
I would just tear them apart, probably.
Or it's small and then it's big, so
just-
it just stays normal.
Yeah, it just stays the same
but
size.
it seems like you stroke for a second. It's like, now that can be Urine Rev's secret.
Who's Urine Rev?
Urine Rev, that's the alternate universe Rev, where everything is made of bodily functions.
God.
He's a high yellow mage.
What do you want the trigger piss to be? Well, you want like an arc? You want the split stream?
Asparagus.
Oh.
Okay, I've got 2 different words.
Okay. So you will have to go on a bit of a hunt for your weird material. The weird material that you need is a specific power component, something to fully charge this. But to get it, one of the people in the science lab says that they're going to need your help on a side project. I think there is a story there, but I don't want to cut away from the main action right now to go to that story because who knows what it could become or turn into. But we'll come back to this, almost like the mortician's assistant. In fact, she tells you that it's something that she's going to need your help with, like in a couple of weeks. So it won't be a flashback. It'll be something you got to do in the future.
But she'll give me the component.
Yeah,
anyway
she'll give you the
for right
component now, but
Okay.
she's like, oh yeah, actually I need your help on something in a couple of weeks, and I think that you'd be really good to assist with it. So that's the trade I'll make with you.
Oh, okay. Deal.
So about 3 days have passed since you guys have come up with this plan. Everything is inserted into the creature. You guys have the matchbox that you're going to carry it in. All of the runes have been set up. You've taken everybody there with the exception of Damien to kind of show them the area. Is there anything else you want to do before you try to pull this off?
I think we're good to go.
All right.
One last thing that I would want to see if we had at IPT is a essentially like rope and like a rappelling rig.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd make sure that was set up and ready to go too, that I could hook it up once I got up to the top.
Also, I would have gone at some point to the circle and just climbed on every damn thing I could possibly think of, just so that I have as many points of teleport as humanly possible. Okay. Like I will just do laps.
You're just parkouring around.
Yeah, spiral in. Don't ever walk around a thing if I can go over it. Like just anywhere that I could have possibly gotten, I would try to get to.
Do you dive in the fountain too?
Oh yeah, I go for a swim, just swim laps through the fountain. Everything I can do.
Do you like go at the middle of the night and climb to the top of it?
Yes, absolutely.
I assume there's a montage with the yakety sax in the background of you climbing up the thing and then getting chased around by a cop and then climbing back up the other side, and then as you climb down, there's a cop climbing down as well. And then
Some nuns come out.
Yes, exactly. Some nuns come out of the fountain and chase you with the cops, and
With a ruler.
yeah, peanut vendor with his cart, and you pop out from inside of it. So there are a lot of moving parts to this, and a lot of parts that you guys can't control. And so I was trying to figure out how to decide, like, what's the environment like when you guys get there? And again, thanks to Reddit, I actually read about a component that a couple of games have used. I'm going to use the die idea. I'm not going to use necessarily the rule they use, but I really like this idea. So the things that could happen, that could go wrong, are going to be the crowd, the weather, and then just outside interference. So I'm going to have each one of you pick one of those. Who wants to be in control of the crowd? Who wants to be in control of the possibility of interference from the outside? And who wants to be in control of the weather?
I feel like As the bird's eye view, kind of trying to, keep an eye on the lay of the land, the outside interference is the thing that I would be the most concerned with.
Okay.
And I would probably be about crowd control, considering that I am doing the shield.
So I suppose that leaves me controlling the weather.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What I want each of you to do is roll your 2 6-sided die, and you're going to roll your luck. You're going to add to your die roll half of your remaining luck points. So what's everybody's luck at right now? I assume it's all pretty high, actually.
Yeah, I've got 6 left at the moment.
I have 5 left.
I have all of my luck
Okay.
because I haven't used it since I became TJ the Science Guy.
I have no basis for this off the top of my head, but I call bullshit.
Boy, it just seems wrong, but I have...
does. All right, so everybody roll and add half of your remaining luck rounded down.
I got a 10.
Mine just got me to 10 as well.
I also received a 10.
No, seriously?
Yeah.
All right. 10s all around.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That adds to 30. What do we get for that?
30 weather points.
Oh,
And 30 crowd points.
Oh.
And 30 other ones.
miscellaneous.
30 people trying to interfere with your plan.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
jeez.
So what is your ideal situation with the weather?
Just a beautiful sunshiny day,
Okay.
I think.
I didn't know if you wanted it to match
Like
the
some
tone.
atmosphere.
Yeah, if you wanted a rainstorm, and there will be no ramifications. You rolled a 10, so there's not going to be a hindrance.
Okay, so it's not going to be like the cameras have a harder time.
Correct. If it was a lower thing, then there might be effect. But with a 10, it is the atmosphere you want.
Okay, well then, yeah, absolutely. I want a lightning storm to start like right when I show up.
Okay. And what about the crowd? What's your best case scenario? Like, is there a school touring the monument? Are there people outside eating? Like, how crowded is it? Or is it...
In fact, it is probably the least crowded day because even though it's a nice day out and everything, there's like a festival going on somewhere on the other side of town, and so the actual circle isn't all that infested with people, as it were.
And people can sense they've watched their weather app. They see that there's a storm coming.
Right.
And then, Tass, I need nothing from you because I
Dang
assume
it.
the best interference is none.
The police are like, whatever.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay.
I had some ideas, but they seem like they're more crowd related, maybe.
Okay, let's hear them.
Well, just things like, if there was, maybe there's some little thing going on that requires a news crew to already be there.
Yeah, so that'll work because interference in my head when it comes to this scenario, we're old hens coming home to roost of other things that might show up from your past in a bad moment. Some attention regarding what you guys are trying to feed the media is already happening.
Okay.
So you guys are getting ready, and you have got everyone to their place at the IPT where they're going to dispatch out and get into their assigned location. Everyone knows what their job is. You haven't heard from Damien yet, but he, told you that he would be there when it started. So TJ, are you ready to shrink down the monster?
I'm ready when they are.
Ready?
Yep.
Solinsky.
And it shrinks.
Is that from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
It is. It's Rick Moranis' character. It
Oh,
means a lot to
nice.
me.
I like it a lot.
Well,
So you have successfully shrunk down the creature. You have put it inside of the Altoids tin. Anything you want to do to the tin?
Do we need to put any air holes in it?
Yeah, I put a couple little air holes in it.
That's fair.
with a knife, just like
Yep.
chick, 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 chick.
So you can hear it too. It's in there moving around, kind of beating on the side. You actually see the sides of the tin denting a little bit as it hits it.
Ooh, I like him.
Oh my god, this thing's going to obliterate me.
Do you want to activate the other piece?
Oh, the sedation?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. And I do. I press a little button and boop.
So TJ says his magic word. The creature shrinks down. TJ activates the chip in its brain that puts it to sleep, and they close the tin. We see the three of you climb into Jake's car and start heading towards the circle. You park about a block away, and Jake teleports and vanishes from the car. The two of you grab your gear out of the trunk and start to walk towards the monument. As you walk towards the monument, we have kind of Ocean's theme playing in the background as you see Rev sitting on a park bench reading a book. And as you look over his shoulder, you can see that in the book is a decal that he has made of the last symbol so that he can just slam it down on the ground and it'll stick.
Nice.
You look across the street and you see Jeff and Eddie eating at the little cafe, and they both drop you a nod as you walk by. You see Commander Sroka posted up near one of the other buildings with an easel, and she's drawing the monument. And you see Fairchild walking along the outside of the sidewalk of the circle, eating an ice cream cone. And they're all just waiting for your signal. You head up into the monument, and it's fairly empty. There's almost nobody here on the circle. The only people that you do see on the circle is a small news crew. There's a cameraman, and one woman, and they're interviewing somebody. And this person seems very agitated, and they're telling a story, and you recognize her. It's the woman who encountered you when you guys came back to investigate the Halifax. It is the lady who cleaned the Halifax, and she's telling this story about, yes, there are supernatural things here. You know, I worked at this theater and everyone thought it was haunted, and one night it just burned down and I saw mysterious men. They were coming to investigate it, and, you know, in the basement, no one knows, but I found these strange lines and candles, and she's just weaving this tale about the occult in Indianapolis and just weird supernatural things. And you can see that the reporter's actually wearing a Halloween-themed shirt, so it must be some kind of little gimmicky thing they're doing for the local news, like, oh, here are the spooky things around Indianapolis.
A little puff piece.
Yes, exactly. And so that's going on almost right in front of the monument. You guys get to the top of the monument, and it is completely empty, except for Jake, who is kind of standing there looking out at the relatively empty circle.
I'm going to go down, and I'm going to take the monster in the little tin, Altoids tin, and I'm just going to place it, like, the fountain, like, has these, like, round lips on them. I'm going to just, like, place it underneath the lip of that fountain.
Okay, so, like, underneath against the barrier of the fountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm hurrying up to the top. I'm going to get up, get one of the windows open, and kind of get out over the ledge to look down at that spot. And with the mic, be like, all right, good, got eyes.
All right, I will then make my way up into the monument as well to where they're at.
Okay. And as you guys start to move into position, with the rolls that you had, really the scenarios are working out exactly how you wanted. You can hear thunder off to the west. You can tell that there's a storm moving in.
Yep, I'm going to kind of get on the comm, open to everybody, say, all eyes, we're about to go. Jake, you good?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for this thing to get big.
All right, I'm going to count down from 3, and we're going to have ignition. Teach, on 0, 3, 2, 1, go.
Gargantuate.
TJ speaks into his lapel mic, and we travel down into the Altoids tin, and there's a spark, and the creature inside starts to grow at a phenomenal pace. And suddenly behind the woman ranting about the strange occult things going on in the underbelly of Indianapolis is a 25-foot scaled monster with 4 arms, 2 legs, sleeping very gently.
Are you ready?
I'm waiting for you. What are you doing?
You hear some commotion outside.
I press the button to unsedate it.
And it does. It is up. And you hear it starting to pound on the ground as it looks around, trying to figure out where it is.
Then I'm going to teleport down to the circle.
So Jake appears next to this frantic creature. As he does, we hear the roar of an engine coming down one of the side streets. This car comes peeling around one of the corners next to the circle, and Tokyo drifts around the circle, kicking up a small bout of flame and melting a little bit of the asphalt as it does. And you see all the people on the sidewalk very quickly back away. And it doesn't happen once. It doesn't happen twice, but 3 times, just the same controlled skid. And you see everyone on the street, everyone in the buildings, they all turn to see what is that sound. And they see you standing next to this giant creature in a car, what looks like trying to get away from whatever is going on.
I have the thought, I'm just like, I hate that I kind of like that guy. I hate that I kind of like his style.
As it hits the 3rd rotation, the car straightens out and vanishes into downtown. You're welcome!
I was positive you were going to say after the third rotation, a slushie comes out of the window and hits me in the chest.
He owed you one, so... And during those 3 rotations, you can see that your 4 crowd control people didn't have to do very much because there was almost nobody at the circle. The only person that really had to do anything to get out was Rev. And he made it past, of course, while Damien's car was on the other side of the circle. You see Rev slam down the symbol, and he positions his hands ready to cast the spell, but he's holding it.
And I just kind of like yell at the monster, like to get its attention, to get it to turn and look at me. And I just yell like, "You won't hurt these people. Your business is with me." And I throw my hand up and like make a fist.
And I activate the shield.
There is a crackle of energy from the top of the monument where the previous night, with Jake's help, TJ has placed the engine for the shield generator. He has been able to make it in a way so that it crackles and pops with electricity. And so everyone outside sees a dome of energy come up that looks like lightning. As it comes up, you see Rev spread his arms and then slam his hands together and then point at the ground at the last symbol. And it's so faint that if you didn't know you were looking for it, you wouldn't see it, but a very clear bubble comes up around that energy field. Everyone at the circle, with the exception of the 3 of you, is outside of those 2 fields.
Yes! Yes!
The creature turns to you with all this sound. You can see that it is spooked by all of the electricity. It starts to charge towards you.
I teleport like somewhere behind it.
Yeah, no problem. You teleport behind it. It stops and it smells around. What are you 2 doing?
At the moment, I am just kind of watching it, gun lowered, but am just keeping eyes on it to make sure it's not doing anything unruly or that could possibly ruin the shield.
And I'm just basically monitoring the shield generator and everything, making sure power levels are correct and that all the special effects and everything are in effect.
It grabs a bench, the bench that Rev was sitting on, and it hurls it towards you. Roll Act Under Pressure.
8.
So you can either get out of the way and have it hit the shield and know that it's going to rebound in and possibly hit something inside of the circle. You can take this hit but brace, knowing it's coming and so it'll only do half the damage. Or you can scatter to get out of the way, and you can tell that it's not going to look like the persona you have presented a second ago, because it's going to take you getting low and moving fast, and it's almost going to look like you're backing away in fear.
I think for the moment, I don't think I'm going to take a hit yet.
Okay.
I think I'm going to do the, like, let it ricochet off the force field, because I'm imagining that, like, if I'm dragging this out, that I'm planning to talk at it for a minute. I'm planning to monologue at this monster.
Yeah.
Before I, like, get fed up with this shit and start hurting it.
Okay.
It would be silly if I took a hit and then was just like, "All right, dog, tell me what's going on." So,
Okay. Yeah, so you very swiftly sidestep out of the way of this bench as it flies towards you. You see it hit TJ's shield, which he has designed specifically to bounce things back. And the bench comes back at the monument, and you see that it hits the lip of the fountain and shatters there. And some of the water from the fountain starts to pour out onto the ground around the monument.
honestly, I just want to, like, square up with it. "This is my city. These people are under my protection. What are you doing here, monster?" Until it tries to come at me again.
When you talk at it, it pauses for a moment, just knowing that you're making sounds, and it gets low. And it just starts making noises back at you, almost like it's communicating, but it just knows that you're making a threatening sound, so it's now making one back, and it pounds the ground as it does, and you see that cement is cracking under its fists.
I am essentially going to try to teleport kind of like next to it, like on its 90 degrees, and just lay a couple shots that I know are going to do nothing into it, and then get back out of there a little distance.
So I don't think this is kick some ass, because you're not actually doing damage to it. Yeah, I think you're trying to look cool. You're trying to look good for the cameras, for any viewers. You're trying to sneak in, throw a few punches. Roll plus cool.
Plus cool.
Uh-oh.
8?
Yeah, you're able to sneak in, you throw a few punches, it spins around and kind of throws an elbow at you. You're able to teleport away right before it hits. You kind of feel your foot slip, though. Not quite as cool as you wanted, but still you got out unharmed.
What's the crowd outside looking like?
They're watching. You can see people in the windows of buildings. The screeching of the tires drew a lot of attention. The sound that the shield made when it went up. And a lot of people are feeling the vibrations of this thing slamming the ground.
Do I see cameras? Are people holding up their phones?
Oh, yeah. The camera that was interviewing the caretaker of the Halifax is now watching you, and you can see that they have her in frame, and she's like, that was him. He was the guy who I saw. I don't know why she sounds like that all of a sudden.
Now, I'm looking at this too. I assume I can see this with my scope and all that, like I'm kind of scanning. Jakey, I mean, you've got a decent crowd at the moment. If you want to milk it a little longer, go for it, but don't tempt fate. I mean, I think we've got a good leg to stand on at the moment.
I was very much going to tempt fate.
And I say into my microphone, Jake, just to let you know, the shield is holding strong. So if you need to like do a few more things against the shield, you're good. You're golden, buddy. Go ahead, tempt fate.
I think I'm going to tempt fate. So what I want to do is teleport not to the edge of the shield, not all the way there, but like I want to draw it over to like closer to the edge of the shield near where all the people are so that everybody can get a closer look at me and at the thing. I'm just trying to train it in that direction. And while I'm in that direction, like start talking about the defender, about, you know, like my patron leaves no room for evil creatures in this world. If you can't be reasoned with, you'll be put down.
I know this kind of goes against the way that it's written, but I want you to roll manipulate someone to see if you can get this monster to essentially go the way you want. You're essentially trying to wrangle it while you monologue at it.
6.
Oof.
So as you're trying to lure this creature where you want it so that everyone outside of the domes can see it, with this fail, it reads what it is you're trying to do, and it charges you, and you take 3 points of damage, non-armor defeating, as it checks you with its shoulder into the dome, and you feel like electricity and energy sparking off of you.
Perfect. So with that failure, I level up, and I'm going to take my smite back.
Nice.
So I think that I get blasted into this shield, and I kind of, like, I hit the ground for a second, like on a knee, and I stand back up, and I make a fist, and it is crackling, and I am going to just smash this thing with my lightning hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that your back hits that shield, and the people outside see the metal armor, and they see the electricity and the lightning popping off of it, and you hit the ground, it's kind of crackling around you, and it all just slowly moves up your arm into your fist as you stand.
Oh God, all I can think of is like you have a vision of the defender and he's like, are you the god of hammers?
Yeah, exactly.
Roll kick some ass.
Oh my God.
13.
All right, what's your extra effect?
I think I want to force them where I want them. And the way I envision this is that I just uppercut this dude into the water. Like that he just goes flying through the air and lands with a big splash in the fountain itself.
And how much damage did you do with smite and your fist?
2.
So what they see is this giant lizard creature drop down and start using all 6 of its limbs to charge at you. And it roars, and as it does, this energy infuses you. And we actually see a crack of lightning come down into your fist. And you uppercut this thing, and the whole scene just goes into slow motion as its head snaps back and it lands in the water, splashing the water up onto the shield, and the water crackles against the lightning and evaporates. And then it slowly starts to get back up again, and it is roaring louder, and it's starting to notice the shield and the electricity in it. It's becoming aware of you being able to use the electricity. You can see that it's almost smelling is not the right word, but it's suddenly aware of where all of the energy is around it, you and the shield.
Okay, then it is time to wrap this up. So I just yell out, that's enough, this ends now. And I hold out my hand and I pull out the hammer.
Roll kick some ass.
10.
Yes.
All right, what's your extra effect?
Inflict terrible harm.
Which is 1 more?
Yep.
Which gives you
4.
Oof.
You summon the hammer, and the shield, which is sparkling from the water that has just hit it, the lightning from it arcs through the shield. And you see that the shield seems to get weaker, almost like the hammer is drawing in the energy from the shield. And you rush forward and you plant the hammer directly between this thing's eyes as it roars at you. And you just see electricity spark behind its eyes and in its ears and down its throat as it's roaring. And then everything in its eyes and its mouth, all of the fleshy parts, the pink, go black, and you smell the char of it. And it collapses to the ground as the shield winks out.
All right. I'm going to pick it up by its scruff and toss it just right in the middle of everything, like on the fountain.
Okay, roll no limits.
Oh, no.
And this is where it all went wrong.
It sure is.
I might be willing to spend a point of luck on this for the
Oh my
effect.
God.
Because I feel like this could just undermine everything that just happened. Like for all this badassery to have happened and everybody's digging it, I genuinely think this could ruin everything if I fail this roll.
Oof.
I just shouldn't have said I was going to do this, but I did, and it's happening.
And here we are.
I think I'm gonna spend a point of luck.
Wow.
God, I feel like it could just go so wrong if I failed this. Yeah, so I pick him up, look at it for a second, like to confirm that it's kaput, and toss it aside. And then I'm gonna turn to the people and the cameras and stuff. Do I see Rev?
Yeah, and you can see that with the first shield down, that he has pulled something else out of the book he was reading, and he scatters it on the shield, and you can see that very thin layer dissolve.
Excellent. And I'm gonna walk towards them all. Don't worry, you guys are safe. I am a champion of the Defender. I wield the lightning, I protect the innocent, and I defeat evil. I am here to help you. This beast won't hurt anyone ever again. If you need my help, let me know. And to my predecessor, I say, I value you, and we need you. Come find me. And I hold up a business card to the camera. I let it sit there for a second, and then I just hand it off to the person behind the camera so that they've got it.
You hold out this business card, the cameraman takes it, and you can see that he holds it up in front of the camera lens again. The Defender symbol is on the card in the background, and there's a phone number on it that ends in thunder. He pulls the card down right as the storm culminates, and there's a huge crack of thunder, and lightning strikes the top of the monument, and rain starts to pour down as Jake vanishes into the night.